It's that time again. It's time for another Saturday night special where we talk about everything rockhounding related. Maybe you can hear the pitter patter of raindrops on the roof of the shop because it is pouring out. It is fall. It's here. It's here, folks. Well, the past week we did manage to get out some, do a little bit of rockhounding. It was good. That'll be coming in the future. But before we kind of get into the main topics of tonight, which is, of course, always rocks, one thing that I've noticed, especially lately, is a big uptick. The graph's ticking along, and it's like skyrocketing of the number of people that aren't just not readers, but like adamantly against it. Is surprising to me. So here's my question. The people out there that are anti-words, anti-reading, not just like, oh, I don't learn that way, I prefer videos, I prefer, like conversations, because not everybody learns the same, is on the way up, in my opinion. Now, maybe my perspective is off, but it would seem like culturally, we as a people are kind of getting away from reading and not just getting away from it, but like there's highly vocal people that are anti-reading, which blows me away. I feel like we are cut from a different cloth because I can consume a subject. If nothing else, I'm relentless with my learning. So, one of the things that I've been really, really getting into, and you see I've already read the whole book, and made notes as far as interesting things. Zeolites. I've been massively reading every single thing that I can on all aspects of the Zeolite group, which there'll be more in the future on this. I do love sharing what I'm getting into. But yeah, like, man, the number of comments, the number of things that I've interactions in real life over email of people that are just like, no books, don't like books, blows my mind. Okay, I can't imagine that. What can I say? This past week, we went to Lewiston, Idaho. And down there in Lewiston, there's a rock club called the Hell's Canyon Club. Well, they had their rock and gem show. And the thing that I really like about these rock shows is not the vendors. Because if we're being completely honest, most vendors at shows are very overpriced. And you're buying scepters and spheres and stuff from different countries, and it's not my cup of tea, right? I go there hoping to make a connection with other rockhounds, with people that are finding their material that they're selling, and with the club and to see the cases, right? Like, so if you've never gone to one of these like rock club shows, right? The club members, generally speaking, will always put together display cases, right? Of like whatever. And then when you go through the entry, you get a ticket and you vote with your ticket who has the best case. Well, I saw something there that I fell in love with. And I'm going to show it to you now. What you're looking at is picture Jasper picture frames, which amazing. And then he also did like some tiny furniture, like almost dollhouse furniture out of stone, and miniature things like that's like hits a button in my mind where I'm like, oh, a little tiny picture frame of picture Jasper is just, the novelty factor is very high for me. So I'm totally going to give that a shot at some point in the future. It seems pretty simple to take a picture Jasper slab, cut it into a rectangle, and then cut strips out of another stone to be able to make the frame. I mean, it's like it's a killer idea. Like, I love it. I absolutely love it. It was by far my favorite case there. And then afterwards, we went and got some zeolites, but that's going to be in a future video, you know. I did get some mail this week, which I sure love getting some mail. And all, my buddy Matt, he lives on the west side of the state of Washington. I'm on the east side. And he sent a box of rocks. Now, I think he got these in a estate sale. So I may not know what all of this stuff is, but some of it's like old stock, which if you don't know what old stock is, it's like a term that is used in the, I don't know, the rock world for when something sat in someone's house for 40 years and now like the mine, the material, whatever is kind of dried up and like all that's left really is that old stock. You know, a good example of that would be, what you call it? That agate from Mexico. I can't think of the name. Can't think of it. Well, anyways, there's some fluorite, which maybe we'll look at this stuff under the UV light because, yeah, beautiful. One thing, the stuff's a little frosted. You can really see that right there. I wonder if there's a way of cleaning some of it up. But yeah, he sent some nice big fluorite chunks, which is beautiful stuff. I sure love a UV reactive rock mineral. So he thinks it's from the Rock Candy Mine in BC, which I think that might be barite. But very cool stuff. Some beautiful specimens. Sent some pyrite on there. Look at that. Pretty stuff. Pretty rocks. Lovely to be able to decorate the shop a little bit. He sent a couple of things that he was not sure of, which I'll probably try to do some identifying on. He thinks this might be a zeolite, and I tend to agree with him. So this is going to go into the house, and we're going to look at this under the microscope. Not in today's Saturday video, but in a future video. We'll be doing that for sure. Maybe I'll get to it this week, and we can look at it next week. He sent a couple of things that I now put in Ziplocs. This may not look like much here, but that orange, he thought it was cinnabar or orpiment. I believe this to be orpiment, and it looks like some of the specimens that have came out of China. So it does look like a purchased mineral based upon the matrix. So always fun to make myself a home for the toxic rocks and minerals. That's not even all of it. He sent a bunch of stuff. Let's just look at it all here. That's pretty much everything there. Beautiful stuff. But yeah, I really like the toxic rocks and minerals, both out of the... I find them to be interesting to study, but also I like being a safe home for them. Because, you know, you really don't want to just like throw it in the trash. You don't want to leave it outside. And I can see why people, especially with children, maybe don't want it sitting in your house, right? Like, I mean, things happen. In the past week, we went and picked up that Vernon Wonderstone. Interesting feedback from some people. I also think it's quite interesting how weathered it is on the outside and how solid it is on the inside. I think it's actually pretty cool. It almost makes it extra nice to see. You know, the darker red does seem... And you can see I put a... Well, you can take polish. Beautiful material. One thing that started to slab up Look at that. This is actually part of a bigger rock that I'll show you now. But I have high hopes for this. So I started the polish on this, and well, you can see the cool lines, and this will just be a specimen. So this isn't polished yet, just kind of like getting there. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? I think that's gorgeous. That'll look really, really nice when I get a nice full polish on that. But yeah, that slab is just a cut off of that face there. So beautiful material. I would go back there. I would go back there in a heartbeat. I think that's a totally excellent spot. But we can kind of see the banding isn't good in all of it. You know, there's just those locations, right, where you go to them and, like, I mean, these two rocks, right, were like right next to each other, you know, right next to each other. And I mean, from the outside, like, they look quite similar. I mean, obviously this one, like, I knew, I mean, you could see that on the broken face there. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of cool to have a spot where the rocks are, for lack of a better word, ugly on the outside, unappealing. Maybe unappealing is a better word for it. But yeah, let's hit the lights and we'll look at this stuff glowing. Yeah, it's got that blue fluorite glow, doesn't it? You know, I think maybe we'll take some photos. Let's look at some photos of this, because that's always, of course, much better than looking at it like that. And this, that definitely has some calcite in it. That's definitely calcite. Glowing red there. Gloves. Yeah, maybe a good winter project is going to be doing some organizing out here and having a little UV reactive portion of the shelves. This coming week, I think you are going to really enjoy the videos. Okay. Now you're going to look at this and you're going to be like, oh, that's not great, right? Like, what even is this? And maybe you would see that and you'd be like, well, maybe that's a little interesting, right? Like, what does that thing look like? What do we have here? How about that? That is lovely. We'll be picking this up next week. So stay tuned for that. And I believe that wraps up almost everything that I wanted to talk about. Thank you for coming by the shop, hanging out with me. Hope you're able to maybe get out and do a little bit of rock hunting. Maybe your weather is nicer than mine. And I will catch you guys on the next video. Thank you.